Hi guys, how are you today? Would you like to hear the story of an artist who wasn't inspired by things you can see, but by something invisible, like feelings?
Feelings? You mean like happiness, sadness, anxiety?
How do you paint those?
Let's find out. This is Edvard Munch.
Today, we are learning about Edvard Munch, the painter of one of the most famous artwork in the world, the Scream. Why should you know about Edvard Munch? Because he didn't just paint what he saw, he painted how he felt. And in doing so, he created images that feels almost like a mirror of the human soul. Edvard Munch was born in Norway in 1863, in a world very different from ours, a time without modern medicine, technology, or the things we use every day. His childhood was deeply marked by loss. When he was very young, he lost his mother and later his sister to a serious illness called tuberculosis. He became ill too and spent many months in bed. During that time, drawing became his companion, and after all the loss he had experienced, it became something more. A place where he could find comfort and express what he felt without needing words. Those painful tragedies stayed with him for the rest of his life and didn't just make him sad, they shaped the way he saw the world. For Munch, life always carried a sense of fragility, like something could break at any moment. At just 17 years old, he had a clear idea of who he wanted to become, a painter, and this feeling became the foundation of his art. Munch found his language in textures and colors, using them in a very unusual way. Most artists use them to describe what they see, but Munch used colors to express his feelings. Pale green for sickness, dark red for fear, soft blue for loneliness. Which colors would you choose to paint these feelings? The same one Munch used, or different ones? In his paintings, colors are not realistic, they are emotional. One of his most personal works is The Sick Child, a painting inspired by his sister's illness. Every brushstroke feels raw, almost unfinished, because it's not about perfection, it's about memory, and every brushstroke transfers an emotion. At the time, many critics didn't understand his work. Some thought his painting looked strange, unfinished, even disturbing, and others believed they were the work of someone unstable. But Munch didn't stop. He kept painting what he believed in, because for him, art didn't have to be pretty, but true. It was about expressing what was happening inside him. One evening, while walking on a bridge with a friend, he stopped and looked at the sky. The sun was setting, and everything around him turned a deep, glowing red. But instead of feeling calm, he suddenly felt overwhelmed. It was a strange feeling, like worry, like fear, something he couldn't quite explain. And it grew stronger and stronger until he felt like he needed to scream, but the scream stayed inside him. And so he did what he knew best. He painted it, and that moment became the scream. A silent scream. And yet, when you look at the painting, it seems you can actually hear it. Can you? And why is this painting so famous? Because at some point in life we all feel something like this. A moment of worry or fear or confusion, a feeling so big we don't always know how to express it. Sometimes it stays trapped inside us. Munch let that feeling out by painting it and giving it a shape, something we can relate to, reminding us we're not the only ones experiencing those overwhelming moments. So now I'll ask you, have you ever felt the same? How did you let that feeling out? By drawing like Munch, or going for a run, dancing while listening to your favorite music, or maybe actually screaming? Munch was very fond of animals, especially dogs, in whom he found comfort and companionship. He featured them in numerous paintings and portraits. He loved them so much that he took them everywhere with him, even to the cinema. Want to hear a fun fact about that? It is said that if his dog barked during a film, he interpreted it as a sign that the film was bad and would leave immediately. Maybe that's why pets can be so special. Sometimes a cuddle with a dog or a cat can comfort us and make us feel a little better when emotion feels too big. Munch traveled a lot during his life, moving from place to place, but he never fully found peace. Nevertheless, his emotion remained intense, sometimes overwhelming. At one point, he decided to enter a clinic because he was struggling with his mental and physical health. But even then, he didn't stop creating. Painting was his way of talking, of expressing what was going on inside him, of letting his feelings come out. And after leaving the clinic, he moved to the countryside, where his paintings became calmer, more peaceful. But the death of emotion never disappeared. It simply changed. Munch painted not the surface of life, what we see, but the feeling that lies beneath it. Even in his later years, Munch remained curious. One cold night in 1943, a huge explosion shook the city of Oslo after a ship carrying ammunition exploded in the harbor. Even at 8 years old, Edvard Munch was so fascinated by the flames and colors in the sky that he went outside to watch them and later painted the scene. That painting, called Explosion, became one of the very last artworks he ever created. But the freezing cold made him seriously ill with bronchitis, and not long afterwards, he passed away. Edvard Munch was largely self-taught, but he changed the direction of art forever, pushing boundaries and experimenting. His work reminds us that emotion, even difficult ones, have value, and that creativity can help us understand and express them. As he once said, "We don't want pretty pictures to be hung on drawing rooms' walls. We want an art that arrests and engages, an art of one innermost heart."
So, what's the main message you guys are taking with you after listening to Munch's story?
That feelings don't have to stay inside. They can be turned into something creative.
Exactly, especially the difficult ones, because by expressing them, we let them go. Art often comes from joy, but also from pain, and from the need to release those feelings and turn them into something meaningful and beautiful, like a piece of art.